Hey everybody, welcome to the Release Alert. So I'm a little late getting this out here today. It's been one of those days today. So let's talk about the rain and the setup again for the weekend, and then we'll cover a little bit about the wintry side of things down the road here. Here comes the rain. This is the first little band of rain that is now moving into Louisville. This is just enough to get the roads messy when it comes to the rainfall approaching, but it's not going to be a constant heavy rain for this first wave. But this is just the first one. The main batch is still back to the west. There is a bit of a gap showing up right in here. There's a chance it may fill in. I'm not ruling that out. But the bulk of it should still hold off until the early afternoon period, it looks like, is when the actual front moves in. That's that main band that'll pass through. Some lightning showing up now with that. And that is going to make for the roads to be a mess for the afternoon commute, although most of the steady rain may actually be ending by the time we get into the commute. But the roads will still be wet, and the wind will begin to ramp up. We're 48 now. We should continue to ramp that up temperature-wise. I think we'll get into the lower 50s as that main batch moves in here again just after the noon hour. And as you see here, 3 o'clock, we're already in the backside of that, but still some drizzle and residual clouds will linger for a while as we get into the evening period and likely into the overnight. Question is, the cloud cover here, how much of that is going to linger into early on Thursday? These scenarios, usually when you have a front that kind of just fades out over our area, it tends to leave a lower layer of moisture over us. And two things can happen with that. Sometimes we get a stratus deck that can form, allowing for a cloudy sky, or we can get stratus right on the ground level, which of course is fog, which is a possibility in the morning period. It will, although the wind looks like it may be a little too strong for that. But either way, I'm still a little iffy on the morning part of tomorrow of how much sun we'll have, but Kevin and Ryan will update you guys later on for that one. So then we get quiet weather Thursday, and then Friday night. Now Friday afternoon there could be a shower. I'm not going to rule that out, or even Friday night, but I think the majority of Friday is going to be dry, and it's going to be one of those weird things where the Friday afternoon we get into the low 50s, maybe mid 50s, and then we keep that climb going Friday night as the warm front passes by. That'll then start to increase the wind fields as we get into Saturday. And it's still the setup is the same here. Still talking about strong winds aloft that we have. And the question is, can some heavy showers or maybe some thunderstorms tap into that and shove it down to the ground level? Because overall, we're talking about 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts out of this wind belt passing through here on Saturday. But any heavy rain shower or thunderstorm that can tap into those stronger winds and push them to the ground level would then put us closer to the 50 mile per hour level. So we'll see how that plays out. No word yet if Weather Service is going to go with the wind advisory. I think we'll wait and see how the wind fields play out, if that's going to be an issue. Then we'll have to see if we get any instability, which would lead to the thunder side of things. And still, some of the models indicate that's a possibility. Timing is everything on that. So we're about a good 24 hours away from really getting a good handle on that, guys. So we're not an outlook from the Storm Prediction Center yet. I think that if they do issue an outlook, it's going to be a marginal at this point, given the iffiness of the deal. But even a marginal, even without a marginal, really, the wind fields the way they are, you get a 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gust. Technically 59 is the severe warning level threshold. You could still get some tree limbs get knocked down, some power outages, so kind of keep that in mind. All right, it moves by, then we get colder behind that system. So what about the longer term setup here? Well, first off, let me talk about I want to cover this, looking at the severe potential and the overall setup. This is the Schref plumes, and you're looking at the temperature profile. I know this is really hard to read. I apologize. The black line is the average of all the other crazy lines above and below it. But this is the temperature profile the next few days. This is the spike as we head into Friday. And notice how we stay fairly level Friday night. So that's what we're talking about, either steady or rising temperatures Friday. Putting us in the range here, this is the 70-degree line. So generally upper 50s and 60s is where it takes us up to. So it's certainly a big climb as we get into Friday there. Now, when you look at the winds, sustained winds, notice the winds ramp up with that warm surge. So sustained winds get us up there to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And that's not gust, that's sustained, and that's up there. That's noticeable. Even today, actually, a little, that breeze is going to kick in. I already see now, I'm looking at Fort Knox and Bowmanfield, and I come with gusts around 20 miles per hour. So, again, it's very similar to today, just a little more enhanced. Now, when you look at the wind shear, you guys know that 40 is usually my benchmark. It's up here, is the 40 knots. But in the cold season, which is what we're in, usually you need to start looking a little bit lower than that. I would say 25 to maybe 30 would be a range to watch for shear. But even that, it is still plentiful when you talk about 15 to 20 knot shear. The thing is there going to be enough instability to tap into that? And instability values for this time of the year, I like 200, and that's about here. So we're not quite there. We're close. We're getting some of the ensembles hinting at it, and that's why I think it's an iffy deal and severe. In the summer season, and you're talking about more like 1,000, but in the cold season, 200 can do it. So we'll see it. It's a borderline deal, the severe part, but taking that out of the equation, I just want you guys to understand, so I could stop rambling, is it's going to be a windy and rainy setup on Saturday, and the wind will be for several hours. It's going to be annoying, I can assure you. All right, let's look at the setup for the long term here, and this is the GFS again. Here's the rain and snow on top of the temperature profile. Start off with Friday. Here we are with the front. GFS is a little quicker than the Euro still, even this close. It's going with a 3 o'clock in the afternoon timing with the front on Saturday. We have the cold wave behind it. Still, the way the winds are angled, any lake effect or snow machine is going to miss us and aim toward the Appalachians. Then after it passes by, we have another little bump in warmth Monday and Tuesday. And then we get another dive into here. Some colder weather for the travel day and into Thanksgiving. And notice this is the travel day setup, so there'll be some snow in Great Lakes, maybe some impacts perhaps on the eastern seaboard, but overall it's not too bad. Nothing major going on for the travel day. It's good. Thanksgiving would have a cold look to it. Now the wind angle for Thanksgiving on the GFS would aim for maybe a flurry. It's a little more probable. Then it moves out, and then you see hints of the next one beginning to move in. The thing is, though, it seems like the GFS, what it's doing, everything is aiming, which is, it's got a northern branch bias to it. Everything aims on the digging a little more this way, and the Euro has been aiming a little more this way, a little more of a sharper turn to these cold snaps. And so the Euro seems to have a better handle so far. It's been trending better, and it's had a better consistency in the past several days that we've been doing the blog. Here is the Euro. As we get into this weekend, here's the front. Again, it's slower, so it brings in the main rain band actually after sunset Saturday. But still windy setup. And then afterwards, as it passes by, we get the cold air, but notice it's pretty quick on moving this out. So even more of a sharper angle for any of the backlash flurry action there for this weekend. So I'm not worried about that. It does have the little bump in warmth, and it does have the cool down that moves in for the travel day at Thanksgiving. But again, it takes a sharper turn with it. Again, when you saw the GFS map, it had like a comma shape that was kind of like this for the lake effect snow, eastern seaboard impacts, and then cold in general coming down. The Euro has the comma shape a little more like this. So we get grazed by it, and any snow action stays to our north. I like the Euro look, so I did adjust our temperatures. It took us out of the 30s for highs. I think we were talking about 40s instead, but it may feel like 30s with that wind. But you want it cool, really, I think, in my opinion, for Thanksgiving. You don't want it warm. It's kind of weird. And then we try to warm back up, and then it shows the next wave, but the same thing. That next wave, again, a sharper turn, dig into the northeast, not coming straight down to the Ohio Valley. And when you look ahead here, guys, so when you look at the ensembles, we were talking about earlier this week how we were waiting for this piece to kind of dig down, whether or not it would dig in the Ohio Valley, that second vort, if you will. And it was based on the idea of this omega block. The thing is, we've noticed is we're getting some disruption in the ridging part in Canada, and that's why the Euro is going with that idea that these sharp returns will happen. And even when you look at the ensembles on, say, the Euro, it's got the idea in the GFS. So I think the Euro, again, is, if you guys are model fiends, I would aim toward the Euro. Now, so when are we going to get into a wintry deal? Well, looking at organic forecasting, guys, the signs are there. They're going to have this warm period coming. We do cool down, but by all means, I really think we may have some cold shots, certainly in December. But the second half of December continues to have the strongest signals yet that we're going to flip to a wintry pattern. And I know that's perfect for the Christmas season. Yeah, I know that this particular version of it did hint at a bit of snow this month. That wouldn't rot of flurries. That's basically what that could still mean when you see a flake, by the way. It doesn't mean accumulating. But it still aims on certainly a snowy potential here as we head into the end of December. And I still think that 1-inch snow is going to happen on Christmas Day. I'm not going to give up on that, guys. But for you snow lovers, you're going to have to be patient, guys. This is going to be a few more weeks before we get into the heart of it. We want to get teased, but it's a few more weeks before we get something that can lock in for a little bit longer. That's it for today. That's enough for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.